Morning, everyone. I'm calling a meeting of the Dayton Stormwater Committee to order. It's Monday, May the 9th. We get started a little late due to technical difficulties. This meeting is open to the public. It is live and also via Zoom. The added topic is Clearway Solar Farms, William Street, the Arujo property. The topic, the time that we started is approximately, the light's hitting at 10:15. To join the Zoom meeting, the address is https://US02 web.zoom.us/J/871-455-68621 PWD equals uppercase MFN, lowercase x, uppercase U, number 2, lowercase PT, uppercase ZE, lowercase DQD, uppercase EN, lowercase I, capital 0, capital E, lowercase TL, uppercase WW1, WZX, I, 4Z, small z, 09, meeting ID 871-4556-8621, passcode 277760, phone number 1-929-205-6099. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Pilling, do you have the attendance of everyone present?
I do.
Okay. I'm just going to do a roll call vote. Member Katabia.
Here.
Mr. Aguirre.
Yeah.
Mrs. Carey Easterday.
Here.
Mrs. Easterday is here representing the planning board because they haven't appointed anybody to fill the vacancy. We have also present is Mr. Pacheco.
Present.
He's a member of the Board of Selectmen. Mrs. Caldonia.
Here.
Concom, Mr. Pilling,
Yeah.
health agent. And sir, would you state your name again?
Yes, Louis Cruz,
From,
Clearway Energy,
okay, CRUZ?
CREWS. CREWS,
LEWIS or LO?
LEW, yes, thank you.
And on Zoom, we have Town Administrator Michael Mullen. And from Clearway or its affiliated companies, Daniel Von Allman, Max Lamson, Chris Ryan.
Yeah, present.
Yeah, present.
Present, thank you.
Is there anybody that may be on the phone that has shown up, Mr. Pilling?
No, there's nobody in the waiting room.
Okay, thank you. This was supposed to be a workshop meeting, as we were going to start working on discussing changes in the bylaw and the regulations. However, a situation has arisen towards the end of last week regarding some of the work that has begun at the solar farms behind Arujo's farms. As a result of that, I ask that we amend the agenda and take this item first. So I will now ask Mr. Pilling to provide the information that led to the meeting.
Yeah, so back in March, they staked out the erosion control and the limit of work. They staked out the erosion control and the limit of work. The lines were approximately 4 feet apart from each other. We reached out to Clearway and said, hey, why are there two lines? And in March, they said they were going to get back to us right away. I went by the beginning of May and they'd started clearing trees to put in the erosion control, which was fine. I reached out to them again and said, hey, what's going on with these two lines? And they said, we'll get back to you ASAP. And they kept going, and now they've cleared too wide through the vernal pool. And none of the stakes are there, none of the wetland flags are there, so they've gone beyond even the limit of work that was staked out. So at that point in time, I sent them an email saying, you need to tell us what you're doing because you've ignored us for a month. So, and that's where we're at.
Mr. Van Almen, are you the main speaker from the company Clearway?
Yeah, I am the project manager for the Dighton Solar Farm. Depending on the nature of the question, either myself or Mr. Cruz in person there would be the best person to answer. Yeah, I think I can absolutely start by saying, Clearway takes full responsibility for any mistake that was made in the field. Todd, I'm personally want to apologize that you feel like, or not that you feel like, that you did not get a prompt answer to your question. Can I ask, just for clarification, who you communicated with on those two occasions?
Dave Cowan.
Okay.
And Kay Picciarell.
Okay.
Isn't that right?
Okay.
And our conservation agent, Lisa Caledoni, was also on those emails.
Okay. All right. Thanks for clarifying. This is obviously not an excuse, but as a housekeeping item going forward, Todd, I think you're aware, but just for the broader group's awareness, Dave Cowan is no longer working with Clearway. And so some of the folks that are on the phone today are being brought in to make sure that we have a stronger local presence that can be out on site more regularly, more effectively, and responds to these types of items more promptly. So the folks at TRC are going to be getting more engaged. I still need to spend more time bringing them up to speed on exactly what's happening. So not in a position to answer questions today, but we look forward to introducing a couple folks from the TRC team that will be regulars out on site and meeting with you guys, and hopefully addressing some of these issues, specifically around communication and making sure that we achieve a better quality of execution here. So with that, just anything that would have been directed to Dave previously, please send to me, and I will make sure that the right folks get involved as we work through this transitional phase.
Oh, Dave Cowan's email said to direct everything to Jennifer Sherwood. Is she not somebody to be directing things to anymore?
She is. Dave reported to Jen. Jen manages all things permitting for us across all of our East Coast projects. If you include Jen, she can absolutely respond and make sure that any request gets to the right person. Dave was supporting multiple projects that also involved Jen, which is why that kind of blanket referral is in his out of office. Whether you send it to Jen or to myself, it will get to the right person. So anyway, I wanted to just address that staffing change. That is obviously not an answer to the question about the differentiation in staking. I know that the team was planning to go out today to evaluate the staking question, take photos, report back with both a status and remediation plan. I suspect that has not happened yet, given the hour. But Louis, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but if you have if you have an update of the work that's planned out on site today that you want to share, that might be helpful for the group.
Louis was giving me his email and phone number, so I'd have it for the record, so he didn't hear what you said. If you could repeat it.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. Hey, Louis, thank you so much for making it out there. I know that you and folks from the Signal team were planning to walk the site, take some photos, and provide a status update to the group today. It might be helpful just for this forum to walk the group through who's going to be out on site today and what work was planned to address some of Mr. Pilling and this committee's concerns.
Sure, I'm going to meet with Kay. She's on her way now over from upstate New York. She'll be here around 11:30. We're going to go to site. They installed it per the stakes that they had, so I'm not sure where the confusion came in with them, but we'd like to also invite you to join us as well so we can present our remediation to you and what activities will have to be done to make it correct.
Which limit of work or the erosion control?
I believe they put it at the erosion control. That was their intention.
Okay, because the question was, why are you clearing trees past the limit of work, which was the erosion control line? Why do you have a separate limit of control line? That was the first question that was asked in March.
Yeah, that's what was asked in March.
Okay.
Because in March,
When we went out in the field, Todd and I noticed that right away and reached right out. And we didn't get, oh, well, we'll look into it. But we didn't know that you guys were going to go in, send a team in before we got an answer.
I apologize for that. That's why I gave you my information. I will be on the ground for this project, and I'd be happy to address immediately anything you bring up. I think we had a drop ball here with the transition from Dave leaving. I had no idea you had requested this information. I'm learning about it today, and I'll make sure you get whatever it is you want. So I apologize on behalf of Clearway.
So the other issue is where you went through the vernal pool.
Yes, sir.
If you installed the erosion control at the erosion control line, then the limit of work line should have been outside of that, and those stakes are all gone and the wetland flags are all gone, which tells me that you cleared all the way to the limit of work, put the erosion control at the limit of work, and wiped out the wetland flags.
Wiped out the wetlands, what?
Flags. The
Flags, okay.
The trees.
well, not only the flags, but the vegetation. I mean, you've created an enforcement issue for conservation.
And this was made very, 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 very clear at every meeting and every site walk that this was the major point of problem for us.
Yeah.
And we were told that everything was going to be handled correctly and we wouldn't have this problem, and day one we have the problem, so.
Okay.
Just some information for those of you who are on Zoom. One of the property owners, Kenneth Arujo, has just arrived in the hall. And I want to point out something that hasn't come up before for the most part, because of our solar farms, for the most part, are located in areas that are not accessed by the public, not really out there in view. But I point out the fact that this solar farm, although it isn't going to be in public view, entrance to the site has to pass through a very active business and lots of public around. And I think it's very important to point out to everyone who is involved with this project on the developer side and the construction side, the business that's located there, Arujo Farms, is a long-time, I'll call it historic business in different types of farming. This is a prominent family in the town of Dayton. Every time a truck enters or leaves or whatever happens, it's visible to the public. And I really think on this particular two projects, everybody, underline everybody, including people who make deliveries at one time and never come back, it's got to understand that this is a very place. And there should be nothing that would lead to any criticism of the owners of the property or anything else. Again, this is unique, but I just make that clear. Yeah, I mean, you're dealing with the town of Dayton, obviously, Stormwater Committee. Other town officials are either present or on this Zoom meeting. But again, everybody has got to understand that their actions, although they may not be visible, everything they do is a matter of record. There will be multiple inspections by a number of town employees as the project progresses. But keep in mind, this is a family business that's been around for many years, and there should be no cloud hanging over this project because of, I was going to say errors, I'll say screw-ups and ignoring what has already been put in place. So I hope I don't have to repeat this message. Thank you. Mr. Pilling, do you wish to comment?
At this point,
Mr. Cruz?
Again, my sincere apology on behalf of Clearway. We want to be a good neighbor. We respect Mr. Rougeau's farm, absolutely. I've seen how busy it is. That's why we've got the traffic control signs up for when deliveries do start. And we, of course, want to do everything in compliance with the city of Dayton and make this project a success. So,
Town of Dayton.
town of Dayton, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mr. Aguirre?
sure. This is James Aguirre, building commissioner. So we've identified a problem. We have an apology. You understand that you need to, do things a little differently in the future. As far as correcting the violation, they've disturbed wetlands. So this is going to involve the commission, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So this is not something that we're going to go out and say, here, plant this, this, and this. This now has to go through the Conservation Commission. There's going to be a corrective action plan. The engineers will get involved. It'll go through the full commission as to what the restoration will be in order to return it back to its pre-disturbance status, okay?
Okay.
Lisa?
Disturbance.
breathe and yell loudly.
Yeah.
Will
I'm at home, so I'll spare you the yelling, but,
over there to the table you're sitting at?
Probably.
no, I don't think so. So I haven't been out to see the new disturbance. I saw the disturbance between the staking area previously, but the new disturbance. And I also wanted to get a little bit of feedback from my chairman before I tell you what I think, without shutting the whole project down right now. But I do agree with, I don't know if anyone's read Todd's email from, what date was that, Thursday? Thursday, May 5th, that we're going to require a full restoration before the project can move forward.
Okay.
Okay?
Just the items that need to be resolved that were in the email that you sent on the 5th of May to Mr. Cowan, please.
Sure. The following items need to be resolved as soon as possible. Number one, respond to the limit of work erosion control question. Number two, rehang the wetland flags in this area. Number three, the erosion controls will need to be relocated to the correct position. Number four, a plan needs to be prepared immediately for restoring the disturbed areas outside of the allowed area of work, and the plants need to be planted this spring. No tree cutting will be allowed to commence until all the above items are rectified. The limit of work / erosion control staking needs to be resolved immediately as they are in the process of installing. Restoring 4 feet wide of vegetation around the entire perimeter of the site may be problematic.
Thank you, Mr. Pilling. Since I heard you mention the cutting going into an area that is too close to the vernal pool, is this the road going in?
Yeah, so it goes up and then it takes the hard left and then the hard right, and then it dips down. It's in that area there, that stretch of the wetlands come up to one side and the vernal pool to the other. That was that pinch point where we talked about narrowing the road down to what, 20 feet? 16 plus 4 feet, as opposed to 20 feet everywhere else. So this is that narrow road that we were very concerned. I believe we called it but on the plan it was called the 16-foot vegetative management drive.
Okay, so Mr. Aguirre and Mr. Pilling, as necessary, would you just let the fire chief know that this has occurred, that there's going to have to be remediation, and including plantings, and just so he's aware of it in case he has to come to another meeting or has to be notified of a site visit or anything like that. What time is the site visit scheduled for today?
You don't have a time?
No. The contractors have a site visit today at 11:30, I heard.
We're going to, yeah,
Right.
that's our intent.
And you've invited whomever town.
Absolutely. If you'd like to come, we'd
Okay.
appreciate you being there so that we're clear, that we know how to fix what you want fixed, and we don't make a mistake like that again.
So, okay, so can Lisa, excuse me, Mrs. Caldonia, Mr. Pilling, is your schedule open at 11?
That's only in 28 minutes. So if this meeting's over by then, yes.
And if it's not, we'd be happy to,
11:30.
we can meet you tomorrow too, as well, or whatever time.
It's, what did you say?
11:30.
It's scheduled at 11:30? Okay,
I heard, yes.
okay. Does 11:30 work?
I can be there at 11:30.
Okay, I plan to be there myself. Any other members of the board or town officials that wish to be there?
It's not posted, so I don't think we should have more than 3 stormwater committee members there.
Okay,
I can't make it, so.
I can't make it either.
okay,
And Lisa's not a member. So
right, okay. Any town official who is not a member of the Stormwater Committee is welcome to join us if their schedule permits. Mr. Cruz, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, ma'am, not at this time.
Mr. Arujo, would you like to speak? You'll come up.
Communication, but so far as marking the driveway,
Okay, Mr. Arujo, please, would you want to come to the podium so the mic will pick up your comments? Thank you.
happened up back, I haven't been up there, so I really don't know what went on. So I believe it's got to be some sort of a miscommunication between Clearway and Rector. But as far as the safety part of it, they've gone above and beyond as far as marking the entrances. And there's one request I have: when the project's completed, if they could leave the signs that you put up for the pedestrian crossing and the speed limit on the driveway, that is greatly appreciated. So I think, as far as what I can see, as far as what they have done so far, it was just a miscommunication versus someone just doing whatever they thought they should do. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wish to comment or ask questions relative to the project? All set? Okay, so 11:30 then. Anyone that's going to go on the site walk, be at Arujo's by 11:30, so we can check it out.
And make sure whatever shoes you wear are capable of sinking an inch or two in the mud.
Okay. All right. So we're all set. Agenda item 4, workshop for stormwater bylaw and regulations review and revisions. You don't have a full committee and 2 key people who are important to that bylaw and the regulations are not present. And if it's okay with the committee, I'd entertain a motion to reschedule the workshop to a later date, and it'll be an agenda item for our next regular meeting on May the 18th. Is there a motion?
So
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mrs. Catavia?
Aye.
Mr. Aguirre?
I,
Mrs. Easterday? Mr. Pilling? We're all set. Is there a motion to adjourn? We have a motion? All in favor, Mrs. Catavia?
Aye.
Mr. Aguirre?
I.
Easterday? Mr. Pilling?
Aye.
And I'm an aye, so it's unanimous. We're done for today, folks. Thank you very much for zooming in. Thank you for everybody for doing.